So Byotrol was really born out of the frustration that I had that the only things that you could use to kill germs were dangerous to use around the home and around friends and family. We looked for a gentler way of doing things and discovered it early in 2001 that by creating a structure that was targeted at germs, not just at everything that was alive around you, it's got a way of killing germs which works both wet and dry. Things like bleach and alcohol only work while they're wet, really. The minute that they've dried, they're very ineffective. So you take Byotrol and you use it, it kills the germs that are there, but then it dries on the surface to form something that really looks a bit like a pincushion if you were a germ, and you land on it, you burst. You can't breed and produce a threat. What that means, in fact, is that you've got protection just after you've cleaned that goes on for hours and days, and obviously is better and safer for everybody. The wonderful thing about pets, of course, is that they are free roaming, they're outside, they play in the grass, but of course we all know that even the cleanest and healthiest of pets has got the ability to get into contact with germs. Dogs are famous for rolling in unpleasant circumstances. Cats go out and do things, so they will bring in from the outside and from themselves, as well as their own loveliness, they bring in a few unwelcome visitors with them. And what we feel is that the most important thing is to make sure that keeping our pet perfectly safe, we can keep our home perfectly safe. And ongoing germ protection seems about the best way of doing that. But what we don't want to do is confuse people. So what we have is a range of products called BioPet that contain Byotrol, specifically designed for use on and around pets in homes and with families.
I love dogs and I love cats, I love all animals really. But when I first started my company a few years ago, I noticed that there wasn't as much emphasis on hygiene between dogs and cats and humans as there should be. I used to go into visiting pet shops, and you know they sell all sorts of crazy animals these days, from snakes, dogs, cats, rabbits, all sorts of things. And there are diseases and germs which can be transferred not only from animal to animal, but from animal to human. So we need to be really careful about how we look after our pets, how we keep them clean, brushed, bathed, and not quite so smelly as some of them might be.
We've identified the three really important areas. There's hand hygiene, there's the pet's hygiene themselves, and of course there's the area around the pet in the home where the family and the pet meet. And that's what we've focused on, where germs present the most nuisance and or risk.
Well, the key areas to think about for germs and germ transfer are obviously the areas where you feed your pet, on the floor where you put your pet's bowl down, you need to keep that clean. Hygienic surfaces where you prepare your pet's food, and where it sleeps, of course.
Well, it's really important that any product that's going to be used by you and your family with pets is gentle and safe for use. And all of the products that we've made focus extensively on that. So there are hand hygiene things for when you've had to do a bit of poopy scooping with your dog or whatever like that. There are products to provide reassurance to people that their cats and their dogs' coats are clean and safe. And there's also, with the inevitable accident that pets may have, there's stain and odour removers that keep your house safe and clean and don't damage the fabrics that you're cleaning or trying to protect. With Byotrol being really revolutionary, we wanted to prove it in the toughest and most caring environments of all. So we've chosen hospitals and food production for our pioneering use of this product. I'm really delighted to say that Byotrol is in use in a large number of countries in those very, very important areas of high risk and high care. We often worry about germs, and I would say there's a lot of germs around here that aren't going to do us any harm whatsoever. But our pets can unwittingly have things that will cause us stomach upsets, skin disease, even eye infections. And it shouldn't be forgotten, we can give them germs too. There's an enormous number of birds and cats and dogs that catch their owners' germs and diseases just as easily. So let's keep it clean and then it'll be great.
Homes in Britain have many other animals as well. Quite a lot of homes have 5 or 6 different kinds of animals, all of which need keeping clean and hygienic in their own areas. So cage wipes and cage sprays and cleaners are also just as important as keeping the dog or the hamster or the rabbit or the guinea pig clean as well. You need to keep those cages clean. So if you have children, and you have animals, it's good to teach your children how to look after the animals by getting them to wipe the cages down regularly and to keep their animals clean.